Good morning. Today we are going to start the chapter number 3 from second paper, that is transistor amplifier. Okay, so the transistor can be used as an amplifier. That means its main application of transistor is amplifier. So we know what is amplifier. Okay, so amplifier is a circuit. Okay, so this amplifier is a circuit which amplifies the weak signal that is applied to the input of amplifier. Weak signal, weak AC signal means what? The signal which is having low amplitude. Okay, that means amplitude, voltage of this input signal is low. Okay, so we name this as input. Okay, so this is applied to the two input terminals of the amplifier, and the amplifier amplify the signal at the output terminals. Okay, so it is the weak signal, it is amplified, means its amplitude increases at the output. So this is nothing but a amplifier, but this amplifier requires a DC voltage. It requires a DC voltage to operate this transistor. Okay, so that means you have to apply DC power supply, so that by using the power of this DC supply, the amplifier amplifies the weak signal. So the simple amplification meaning means it takes the current from the DC power supply. Okay, it takes the current from the DC power supply and changes that current or voltage that depends on the input signal. So actually this signal is not actually amplified, but in this case whatever the current coming from the power supply is changes as that of the same that of the input signal. So we can say that it is amplified at the output. This current is different than this one, but this behaves or shape of this voltage is same as that of the input. So that's why we can say that this signal is amplified at the output. So it takes the current from this power supply and make the changes in that current depends on the input variation. Okay, so this is the concept of amplifier. So first point in this chapter is analysis of an transistor. Analysis of an amplifier. Analysis of an amplifier. So we are going to analyze this amplifier. So we know this circuit. Okay, so this is a amplifier using a transistor. It is a common emitter amplifier. So emitter is grounded, and so that's why this is common emitter amplifier. Okay, with a biasing method. Which is the biasing method? The biasing method is potential divider biasing, because it has two resistors R1 and R2. The voltage across R2 is given to the base of the transistor, which biases the transistor. Okay, so this is the load resistor RC. So this is RE, emitter resistor. So this is the bypass capacitor CE. We know very well each and every components we studied already. The coupling capacitor CC. Okay, CC1 and CC2. So through this coupling capacitor you have to connect the AC input voltage. Okay, and this voltage is amplified at the output. Okay, so here the output is the collector to ground. Okay, so you have to observe this collector to ground. So this output voltage is gets amplified. Okay, so this is that of the same. So it also requires a DC power supply VCC, which is connected at these 2 points, and it takes the current. So depends on this applied input voltage, the transistor turns on and off, depends on that, and the current which is coming from this supply, that is the IC current, make the changes in that current and you will get the amplified output like. Okay, so we know the analysis means what we are going to discuss about the requirement and the working of each component. So already that we have already studied that. Okay, so the transistor, when it is connected, so this is the transistor T. So when it is connected in the amplifier, in that case first requirement is base to emitter junction is forward biased and base to collector junction should be reverse biased. So we know that these biasing FF, RR and FR. Okay, so this is the FR condition. When transistor is used as amplifier, it should be operate in a FR condition. So we know very well the FR condition means the transistor is operate in a active region. RR condition means the transistor is operate in a cutoff region. FF condition means transistor is operate in a saturation region. Okay, so for the amplification, the transistor should be in the FR condition, that is in a active region. Okay, so this is in a active region, and we can more precisely we can say that the transistor should be operate at the center of this active region. Okay, let us see. Then second requirement is, so whatever the operating point Q is at the center of the DC load line. Okay, so we know that DC load line. Okay, and we also know the characteristic curves. If we observe the characteristic curves here, so we are going to see the variation between collector output collector current IC versus output collector to emitter voltage VCE. Okay, so we are going to observe this. Okay, as VCE increases, IC also increases, but its variation is depends on the base current IB. Okay, so we are going to observe the relation between collector current and the VCE, collector to emitter voltage. Okay, for different values of base current. So for different values of base current, we can plot this variation with suppose IB equal to 0 ampere. In that condition, when IB is 0, then the transistor is in RR condition. RR condition means base to emitter is reverse biased and base to collector also reverse biased. Okay, so this is RR condition. In that condition, there is only reverse leakage current, and which is just like this. So this is the transistor characteristic curve when IB equal to 0. If we increase the IB, say 10 milliampere, then if we increase the IB, then transistor slowly turns on and it behaves like this. IC current increases as increase in IB. So at 20 milliampere, then we get such variation. Okay, it's not exactly parallel, there is very slight increase. Okay, so then as we increase it, there is slight increase as we increase the base current IB, say 30 milliampere. Okay, so these are the characteristic curves. And if we plot a DC load line, we know that DC load line. So here this is a point B which is in a cutoff. Okay, when transistor is in cutoff, we know that coordinates, we already studied that the x coordinate becomes VCC equal to VCC, VCC comma 0. Why 0? Because the coordinates for the points on the x axis which are having a y coordinate 0. Okay, So this IC current is 0 for this point. And if we observe this point, A point, which is in a saturation point, okay, so this point is in a saturation point. So the points on the y-axis are having x coordinate 0. So x coordinate is 0, and this is given by VCC divided by RC plus RE. So we very well know about this 2 points. A point is the extreme saturation point and B point is the extreme cutoff point. Okay, so by using these 2 points, we are going to draw the line on this characteristic curve, and the whatever the operating point, that is Q point of this transistor. So this is a second requirement. The Q point should be at the center of the DC load line. Okay, so this is most important requirement. The Q point means operating points. We know that Q point means it is nothing but the voltage across the transistor, that is VCEQ, and current flowing through the transistor, that is ICQ. Okay, so this is ICQ, current flowing through the transistor, and voltage across the transistor when no input voltage. Low input voltage means we are not applying any AC voltage. That is the most requirement, that their input voltage is 0, and at that input voltage 0 we get the collector current ICQ, and this is VCEQ when at the center of the DC load line. So in that case, when Q point is center of the DC load line, we get a maximum amplification. Okay, and the third requirement is this Q point is fixed. This Q point is fixed means what? There is no shift in a Q point with a change in a temperature. Okay, as a temperature changes, the transistor's temperature changes, there should be no shift in a Q point. So Q point should be at the center as the temperature of the transistor changes. So this setting is done by RE. We know very well that. We already studied that. RE used to stabilize this Q point at the center of the DC load line as the temperature of the transistor increases. Okay, so in this analysis we are going to discuss about these 3 points, and also discuss the uses of these components. Okay, so this transistor amplifies the current as well as voltage. Okay, so DC power supply is connected, and by using the current from this, it is amplified the signal. Okay, so here R1 and R2 provide the base biasing, and this arrangement is known as potential divider arrangement. So that's why we named this amplifier as a potential divider bias amplifier. Okay, so this is the biasing method. So voltage across R2 is used to bias the base of the transistor. So we know the equation. So already we studied the voltage across R2 is VB, R2 divided by R1 plus R2 into VCC. So this is the voltage across the transistor, voltage across the resistor R2 to bias the base. So this RC is used as a load for this collector terminal. If RC is not present, we don't get any voltage at the output. So RC is important. Then RC is connected, then and then only you get the variable voltage at the output. Okay, so then this RE is used for the DC stabilization. We know that as the temperature increases, collector current increases. As collector current increases, voltage across this RE increases. As voltage across this RE increases, base to emitter voltage drops. Why? Because VB is fixed. VB is equal to VBE plus VE. So as the voltage across this RE increases, because of increase in IC increases, IE increases, and the voltage across RE also increases. So therefore VBE, base to emitter voltage drop decreases, and transistors on condition also decreases, and again IC decreases. So whatever the increased IC is stabilized because of this RE. As IC increases, voltage increases, this drops. As this drops, base current decreases, IC decreases. Okay, so this RE is used for DC stabilization, but this drawback it generates a negative feedback, we know that. So because of RE, negative feedback generates and it may decrease the output voltage, and this is avoided with this CE. Okay, CE bypasses AC, it bypasses AC to ground. CE bypasses AC to ground. Whatever the AC voltage at this point is grounded by the CE, so therefore it is known as bypass capacitor. So it bypasses the AC only, and only DC drop is remains here, and it will use to stabilize the Q point. And whatever the AC that is responsible to generate a negative feedback, that is grounded by this capacitor. So AC is grounded. Okay, as AC is grounded, there is no AC voltage, there is no AC drop at this input. Okay, so it is grounded and it avoids the negative feedback. So in short, CE is used to avoid a negative feedback. Okay, CE is used to avoid a negative feedback. So these are the coupling capacitors which couples AC only. That means this CC1 only couple the AC input signal to the transistor, that is to the amplifier. So whatever the DC current is blocked here, because capacitor blocks DC and passes the AC. So this CC2 also block the DC coming from this VCC, it is blocked at here. Whatever the amplified signal at the capacitor only passes, because capacitor passes AC. Okay, so DC is blocked and AC only passes. That's why these are the coupling capacitors. So you should know these working of the transistor. So this is the analysis of an amplifier. So we are going to discuss about these all parameters, that is nothing but an analysis of an amplifier. Okay, so already this is studied, so just it is just like a revision. Okay, now we are going to see the multi-stage amplifier. What do you mean by multi-stage amplifier? So this single transistor, whatever we are using, this single transistor, it is sometime unable to give that much amplification that we are required. So in that case, we connect the amplifiers to each other. Suppose these are the three amplifiers. Okay, A1, A2 and A3. So the voltage is DC voltage, operating power supply is connected plus VCC, and these are grounded. So these amplifiers, which is gain means what? So A is nothing but a gain. A is output voltage divided by input voltage. So this is nothing but an amplification factor. How much input is amplified is given by this amplifier's gain. So this is the amplification factor. So this amplifier is having gain A1, A2 and A3. So this is nothing but an amplification factor. So we have to, if we want more amplification, in that case we use this cascading. Cascading means output of first amplifier is used as the input of second amplifier. So output of second amplifier is used as the input of third amplifier. So this is a first input, we are going to apply here weak signal, and we get a maximum amplification at the output. So to increase the gain, we have to cascade the A1, A2 and A3. Suppose this amplification factor is 10, and this is 10, and this is also 10. Okay, so output voltage divided by input voltage is 10. So VV get cancelled, so therefore amplification factor, this don't have any unit. Okay, no voltage, no current. Okay, it don't have any unit, it's just a number. It is amplification factor. Okay, suppose 10. So if we cascade this, then in that case we get a total large amount of amplification. So A total equal to, it is simply A1 into A2 into A3. Okay, so this is a large amount of amplification. Okay, so if you multiply 10 into 10 into 10, so that means we get 300. Okay, sorry, it is 1000. Okay, so we get 1000 gain. Okay, so this is a 1000 gain. So there is tremendous increase in this gain, only 10 10 10, but we get 1000. Okay, so this is the benefit of this multi-stage amplification. The gain is increased in the multiplication factor. Okay, so if you observe that there may not happen that 10 plus 10 plus 10, that is 30 gain. So it is not happened here, because we get a tremendous increase in the gain, that is multiplication of this gain A1 A2 A3, and so it is 1000. Okay, so this A1 A2 A3 get multiplied and we get the maximum output. So this is the advantage of this multi-stage amplifier. But there is only simple 10 gain multiplication factor, and that get multiplied and you get this tremendous increase in this gain. Okay, so this gain is multiplication factor. So sometime it is measured in a decibel. So decibel is the unit, or it is a logarithmic method to measure a gain. Okay, so if this amplifier is used to amplify audio signal, okay, if it is used to amplify audio signal, then our ear response is logarithmic. Okay, so that means if the audio sound increases 10 times, then our ear can feel it is increased double. Okay, so if the intensity, that is a logarithmic scale, if it is increased 100 times, then we feel that, because log of 100 equal to 2. So our ear listen this audio signal in the logarithmic scale. So log of 100, that is equal to 2. That means if the audio intensity increases by 100 times, then we can listen it is increased twice. So that's why we describe this gain in a logarithmic form. So this voltage gain in dB equal to 20 into log of VO divided by V in. Okay, so this is in decibel. So like a power gain, so power gain in decibel equal to 10 into log of output power divided by input power. Okay, so this is also decibel. So this is a decibel. So gains are described in a decibel. So like this. Okay, so we know the multi-stage amplifier, and the advantage of multi-stage amplifier means, so this is a multi-stage. We know this single stage, first stage, second stage, and third stage. So these are coupled to each other. Okay, so that's why it is known as multi-stage amplifier. Okay, so like this. So now we are going to see the coupling methods. So coupling method means what? So we cannot directly connect output of first amplifier to the input of second amplifier. Okay, because if you direct connect, the current from A1 will disturb the condition of condition of this A2. Okay, so first amplifier current can disturb the condition of DC condition of the second amplifier. So the current cannot directly flow from A1 to A2, that is DC current. Okay, so we cannot directly connect the output of first stage to the second stage, because if you connect directly, it can changes the Q point of A2, it may changes Q point of A1, it may changes Q point of A3. Okay, so to avoid this change, we should use a coupling method, coupling components between the two amplifiers. So we have to connect something in between them so that the signal from A1 is safely connected to the A2, and there is no disturbance between A1 and A2. They are not going to disturb the condition of each other, so A1, A2. So that's why we use the coupling method. That means we are using the coupling components in between these two amplifiers. So first coupling method is RC coupling. So this is RC coupling. Okay, so this is most commonly used coupling method for audio signal. In RC coupling, we use resistor R and capacitor C. So we just seen the multi-stage amplifier. So this is the multi-stage amplifier. So here output is directly connected here, but there is a coupling component. So this is R and this is C. So this is acts as a coupling components in between these two amplifiers. So this is just like a same circuit. So we are going to see here. So this is same circuit. So RC coupling means we are going to use a resistor and capacitor in between two transistors. Actually, these two components are already present in the circuit. Okay, as we are observed this circuit, so these are already present. So these components acts as a coupling components between these two amplifiers. Okay, so we know that the RC acts like a load, and because of this RC, the voltage is generated at the capacitor, and this capacitor is just like a coupling capacitor which avoids to connect a DC current coming from this one to enter into the input of the next stage. Okay, so it only couples the AC voltage from first stage to the second stage. Okay, so it blocks the DC. So as this blocks the DC, there is no DC disturbance between this A1 and A2. Okay, so this DC current is blocked. If there is no coupling capacitor, then DC current enters here and it can change the Q point of second transistor. So to avoid this change, we use this coupling capacitor. So here it shows only AC signal is connected to the base of the next transistor. Whatever the DC current, so coming from here, it is blocked by this capacitor, because capacitor blocks the DC and passes the AC. So this DC current and also the DC current coming from here, it also blocked by the capacitor C. So this is the main use of RC coupling. Okay, so this RC coupling main use is to block the DC and passes only AC. Okay, so this is the RC coupling. So it is simple coupling. Okay, so these components are already present, so only these acts like a coupling components. So another important is the frequency response of RC coupling. So frequency response means what? We are going to change the frequency that is applied. We know that. So here amplifier means we are going to apply the AC signal. So AC signal is having some frequency. We keep this input voltage constant and change the frequency. Okay, and whatever the change in a frequency, that will affect on the output voltage. Now we are going to see this response of this amplifier for different frequencies. Response means what? We are going to observe the output voltage. Okay, we kept Vin constant. So in this case we kept Vin constant, and only we are going to change the frequency from 0 to maximum, and then we are going to observe the output voltage, and we have to calculate the gain A, that is VO upon V in. Okay, so this gain, we are going to observe this gain for a different input frequencies. We are not changing the input voltage, but still output voltage changes because of change in a frequency. So we observe the variation in the gain with respect to change in a frequency. So in that case, we observe that initially if we increase the frequency, the gain is low and it goes on increasing, and after some time it becomes constant, and again we are increase the frequency, again after particular frequency the gain drops again. So we get this variation in the output voltage, or voltage, output voltage, that is output voltage divided by input voltage is the gain. So if we observe the gain, because Vn is constant, so the output gain is varies like output voltage. So initially as we increase the frequency, then gain increases, after that it becomes constant and again decreases, this becomes a frequency response. If we observe this variation, we can find that the amplifier only works only this range of frequency, say this is F2 and F1. Okay, if you observe that amplifier is only work on this much range of frequency, so here gain decreases, here also gain decreases, that means this amplifier is not useful at these two upper and lower frequencies, only it is works better for the middle frequencies. So this is known as a bandwidth. So bandwidth means F2 minus F1. So this is a range of frequency. Okay, so this is delta F, is the difference between the two frequencies, F2 minus F1. So this is a range of frequency over which the amplifier works properly. Okay, over which amplifier works properly. So this is nothing but a bandwidth and this is nothing but a frequency response. In next lecture we are going to see why initially this gain increases, why it becomes constant, and why again it decreases. Okay, in the next lecture we are going to see this. Now we are going to stop here. Okay.